Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Right now, I want you to take a deep breath and ask yourself, what's the real reason I haven't reached the level of success I dream about? It's easy to blame circumstances, others, or bad luck, but I want to challenge you today. The real reason lies within you, and it begins with one simple yet powerful idea: think bigger. Move faster, you see. Most people settle for a life of mediocrity because they've stopped thinking big enough. They've been conditioned to believe that the world is small, that opportunities are limited, and that success is something rare and hard to achieve. But what if I told you success doesn't have to be a struggle? What if I told you that all it takes is a mindset shift, one that forces you to think bigger and act faster than everyone else? You've got to stop playing small. You've got to stretch your vision, reach for more than you think is possible, and move with urgency. The time to start is now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when the conditions are right. You're capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. All you need is a plan and the courage to take massive action right now. In the next few moments, I'm going to show you how you can unlock your potential by thinking bigger and moving faster. It's not a matter of luck, it's a matter of choice. A choice to go after what you want with everything you've got. Are you ready? Let's dive in. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction. Let's start with something simple but powerful. Your life is shaped by what you believe is possible. Most people don't think big. They think safe. They think comfortable. They think just enough. And the problem with just enough is it'll never be more than enough. Now listen closely. Thinking bigger is not about arrogance. It's not about greed. It's not about chasing fantasies. It's about expanding the boundaries of what you believe is possible for you. It's about lifting the lid off your potential and saying, why not me? Most people have small dreams because somewhere along the line, someone convinced them to stop dreaming. Maybe it was a teacher. Maybe it was a boss. Maybe it was the people closest to them, telling them to be realistic. Let me tell you something. Realistic is often just another word for fear in disguise. You've got to think bigger than your current circumstances. Your bank account might say one thing. Your resume might say another. But your mind, that's where it starts. Here's the truth. The size of your thinking determines the size of your results. You don't become a millionaire thinking like a minimum wage earner. You don't build a legacy thinking like someone trying to just get by. You build a future by seeing it before it's real. You dream it before you achieve it. Now I know some people say, Jim, I just want to pay the bills. And that's fine for now. But don't stop there. Stretch your vision. Expand your capacity. Challenge your comfort zone. You see, thinking big makes you grow. It forces you to develop new habits, new skills, new disciplines. When you think bigger, you ask different questions. You stop asking, can I do this? And you start asking, what must I become to do this? That's the game changer right there. If you want to change your life, you don't start with your job or your income. You start with your vision. Your thinking is the blueprint. And the bigger the blueprint, the stronger the structure. Let me tell you what happens when you think small. You tolerate things. You settle. You delay your dreams. You play defense instead of offense. And guess what happens when you think big? You get bold. You start moving with intention. You start attracting opportunities instead of chasing them. If you don't design your own life plan, I once said, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. So let me ask you again, what do you want? Not what your neighbor wants. Not what society expects. What do you want? Can you see it? Can you feel it? Can you believe it? Because the moment you do, that's the moment your life starts to change. Let me give you a little formula: big thinking, consistent action, exponential results. Simple, but not easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But you're not everyone, are you? You're here because something inside of you wants more, wants different. And it all begins by making a decisioning to stop shrinking your dreams to match your current reality and start stretching your reality to match your dreams. So if you've been playing small, it's time to wake up. If you've been doubting yourself, it's time to believe again. If you've been waiting for the right time, this is it. Think bigger. Move faster. And the world will begin to open up in ways you never imagined. Without a sense of urgency, desire loses its value. But let's talk about speed. The tempo of your life. How fast you make decisions. How quickly you act on your ideas. You see, life doesn't just reward big thinkers. It rewards those who move on those big thoughts. It's not enough to dream. It's not enough to plan. You have to execute. And the faster you act, the quicker you learn, grow, and succeed. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not talking about being in a rush. I'm not talking about frantic, busy work. I'm talking about decisive movement, about moving with clarity and purpose. Speed with direction. That's the key. So many people get stuck in preparation. They think they plan, they analyze, but they never act. They spend so much time getting ready, they forget to go. And let me tell you, getting ready to get ready doesn't move you forward. The great achievers, they move fast. They get an idea, and they take action. They don't wait for the perfect time, because they know there isn't one. They know that speed breeds momentum, and momentum creates results. Here's the secret: motion changes emotion. When you move, your energy rises, your confidence builds. Suddenly, fear shrinks and possibilities expand. But when you sit still, when you wait too long, doubt grows. Doubt is a weed, and it thrives in delay. Success is attracted to motion. Opportunities don't wait around forever. They show up, and they look for those who are ready to run. And the ones who move fastest are the ones who grab them. Have you ever noticed how life responds when you start moving? Doors begin to open. People start noticing. Ideas start flowing. Why? Because the universe moves for those who move themselves. Now, I'm not saying move recklessly, but I am saying stop waiting for everything to be perfect. You don't need all the answers. You just need to start. Too many people want certainty before they take a step. But let me tell you, certainty comes from action. You don't build confidence by thinking about doing. You build it by doing, failing, learning, and adjusting. Here's a good phrase to remember. While others are talking about it, be doing it. That's how you stand out. That's how you gain ground. That's how you move ahead, while everyone else is standing still. And yes, you might make mistakes. You might stumble. You might even fall. But better to trip moving forward than to sit safely and go nowhere. You see, speed is a mindset. It's a habit. It's a muscle. And the more you use it, the stronger it gets. So ask yourself today, where am I moving too slow? Where am I hesitating, delaying, overthinking? Because the ones who win in this life, they don't wait, they move. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. There's a cost that doesn't show up on your bank statement. It doesn't come with a receipt, but it's the most expensive cost you'll ever pay. It's the cost of inaction. You don't always feel it at first. It's subtle. It creeps in like a slow leak in a tire. You don't notice until you've gone flat. That's what inaction does. It flattens your dreams. It robs your energy. And before you know it, you're stuck. You see, we're all given opportunity. Some more, some less sure. But everyone gets a chance. The question isn't whether opportunity shows up. The question is, do you move when it does? Because opportunity doesn't wait. It doesn't send a second invitation. It knocks once, and then it moves on to someone else, someone bolder, someone faster, someone who says, I'll do it now. And yet so many people hesitate. They get an idea, and instead of acting, they stall. They want one more sign, one more guarantee, one more perfect moment. But let me remind you, perfection is the enemy of progress. You don't need perfect. You need movement. You need action. You need a decision. People don't usually regret what they tried. They regret what they delayed. They regret the moments they talked themselves out of something great. They regret not being brave when it mattered most. I once said, we must all suffer one of two things: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And you better believe, regret weighs tons. It sits on your chest in the quiet moments of your life and whispers, you could have done more. You could have been more. You think inaction is safe. It's not. It's dangerous. It's deceptive. Because while you're sitting still, time is flying by. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. You lose momentum. You lose belief. And worst of all, you lose time. Action creates clarity, but inaction creates confusion. When you move, you learn. When you act, you grow. But when you sit in indecision, you stay stuck in the fog of maybe. You want to feel alive again. You want to regain energy and purpose. Then move. Take the first step, even if it's small, even if it's scary. Because the act of doing breaks the curse of waiting. There's a danger in waiting too long. Dreams expire. Motivation fades. Doors close. And by the time you realize it, the train has already left the station. So what are you waiting for? Another sign, more confidence. The perfect moment. Let me give it to you straight. Now is the moment. Now is the time. Now is when you make the decision to leave hesitation behind. Because the price of inaction, it's your future. And you, my friend, you deserve better than that. Success is not doing extraordinary things. It's doing ordinary things extraordinarily well and consistently. Let me tell you something that may surprise you. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You don't have to be the most talented. You don't even have to be the most experienced. But if you can be consistent, you can outrun them all. Consistency, my friend, is the silent engine of success. It doesn't roar. It doesn't draw attention. But it never quits. And that's the secret. Let me give it to you this way. Motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. And that's where consistency lives, in the quiet daily choices. The ones no one sees. The ones that feel small at the time, but they stack up. One small, smart decision every day. That's the formula. You don't need to leap buildings. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take one good step, again and again and again. You see, the world rewards those who can stick to a plan. Not just for a few days. Not just when it feels good, but when it's hard. When you're tired. When no one is clapping. When you're not sure if it's working. That's where most people quit. Right in that moment. Right when it gets quiet. Right when the progress isn't obvious. But what they don't realize is consistency is doing the right thing long enough to get the result. I've often said, the formula for success is a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Not once in a while, not when you feel like it. Every day, rain or shine. Whether you're excited or not, you show up and you do the work. Do you know why that's powerful? Because every time you follow through, you build self-trust. You tell your mind, I'm the kind of person who keeps showing up. That's the kind of person who changes their life. Now here's the challenge. We live in a world of instant results. Fast food. Fast answers. We want overnight success. But let me be honest with you. There is no shortcut to greatness. Greatness is earned in the early mornings when no one's looking. It's built in the repetition. The writing you do when the words aren't flowing. The workouts when your body says no. The sales calls when you've been told no 20 times. And it's not exciting, but it's transformational. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you kept a commitment to yourself for 30 days? No skipping, no excuses. Just showed up every day. That alone can change your life. Because the most important promises you'll ever keep aren't to your boss, aren't to your audience, they're to you. If you break your word to yourself enough times, you stop believing in you. But if you keep your word to yourself, you become unstoppable. And that's what consistency builds, unshakable confidence. The kind of belief that says, I've done hard things before, I can do it again. I show up when others quit. I may not be the best, but I'm always there. That's powerful. You see, consistency is the foundation. And when the foundation is strong, the structure stands tall. You want freedom? Start with discipline. You want results? Start with repetition. Now here's the beautiful part. You don't have to take giant leaps. You just have to take tiny steps every single day. Because success is hidden in your daily routine. Don't underestimate the power of daily habits. What you do today matters more than what you plan for tomorrow. So don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for clarity. Just decide and then keep deciding. Because when you're consistent, the world notices. Opportunities come, skills sharpen, doors open. Not by accident, but by momentum. Remember this, the gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't filled by talent. It's filled by consistency. And the beautiful thing, you already have everything you need. You just have to keep showing up, one day at a time, one decision at a time, until consistency becomes your identity. That's the silent engine. That's the path to mastery. And that's how you win slowly, steadily, surely. The greatest value in life is not what you get. The greatest value in life is what you become. Let's sit with that for a moment. Not what you get, not the money, not the recognition, not the applause, what you become. You see, success isn't something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. And that, my friend, is the key to creating your own future. Your future doesn't just happen. It's not a lottery ticket. It's not left up to fate. It's not something you stumble into. It's something you design. Now, I know that sounds big and maybe even a little scary, but that's the truth. You are the architect of your life. And every choice you make, every habit you form, every belief you accept, that's a blueprint being laid for your future. The question is, are you building it with purpose? Or are you just letting it happen by default? Most people don't design their lives. They react, they drift. They go wherever the day takes them. And then they wonder why things never change. But not you. Not anymore. Not after this. See, once you take control of your direction, once you decide who you want to be, what kind of life you want to live, that's when the magic begins. Now let me tell you something important. It's not about being perfect. It's not about having all the answers. It's about taking responsibility. It's about saying, this is my life, and I'm going to build it one decision at a time. Start with your vision. What does a great life look like to you? Not your neighbor, not your parents, you. What kind of person do you want to be? What values matter most to you? What kind of relationships do you want to build? What kind of contribution do you want to make? Don't be vague, get clear. Clarity is power. When the picture is clear, the path becomes visible. And when the path is visible, progress is inevitable. Now here's the part most people forget. Once you've got the vision, you've got to act. Dreams without action are just fantasies. Ideas without execution are just talk. You've got to move, even if it's small steps, even if you're scared, even if you don't feel ready. If you want things to change, you have to change. If you want things to get better, you have to get better. That's the rule. That's the formula. You can't wish for a better future. You have to build it, brick by brick, habit by habit, choice by choice. The real joy, the real reward is not just in achieving the goal. It's in who you become along the way. Because when you stretch yourself, when you challenge yourself, you grow. You develop strength. You gain wisdom. You build character. And that's worth more than gold. So today, I challenge you, no more waiting, no more drifting, no more excuses. Decide what you want your future to look like and go make it real. It won't be easy. It won't happen overnight. But if you stay consistent, stay focused and keep moving, your future will thank you. The life you imagine will become the life you live. And one day, someone will look at your story and they'll say, how did they do it? And you'll smile and say, I created it. One choice at a time. That's the path to real achievement. And it's open to you, starting right now.